Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at Darkness-Purging Universe Tree Power Super Saiyan God SS Goku Universe Tree Power variation of Goku, which is Goku that's absorbed the power of the Universe Tree, which is a tree that powers all of the universes. I don't know. Anyway, basically a very Chad-like Goku and very cool, albeit a little bit uninspired Super Saiyan Blue form Goku. So he's a Dragon Ball Heroes Kamehameha Power Beyond Super Saiyan lead of 170% with an additional 30% for characters who belong to the crossover category. I'm going to say this now. They should have done like a separate buff for health of like 60 or 70% additional, because the Heroes team just has like no health at all without dupes. It is insane. Super attack raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes immense damage to the enemy, and a medium chance of performing a critical hit. So yeah. Activates the entrance animation upon the character's entry and defense of 200%, and launches an additional super attack for 4 turns from the character's entry turn. So a big defensive boost in the beginning, which he definitely does need. Key of 2 attack and defense of 150%, and additional 150% when attacking. An additional defense of 40% with each attack performed. Launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack, and randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to strength when there are 3 or more crossover category allies, or an ally whose name includes Xeno on the team. This condition is super important, we'll talk about it just now. An additional 50% attack for the rest of the battle, and great chance of guarding all attack with 3 or more key spheres obtained. An additional 100% attack for the rest of the battle, and guards all attacks with 5 or more. An additional 150% attack for the rest of the battle with 7 or more key spheres obtained, and guard of 40%, damage reduction of 40% when guard is active. Unyielding Fuse Kamehameha gives him massively raised attack, and also increases his defense by 30% and gives him guaranteed crits. And Super Saiyan Kamehameha Shocking Speed Warrior God's Godly Power prepared for battle and fierce battle are his links, and he's on Accelerated Battle Bond, the Friendship Bond, the Parent and Child crossover, Dragon Ball Heroes, Earthford Fighters, Goku's Family, Kamehameha, Power Beyond Super Saiyan, Pure Saiyans, Realm of the Gods, Time Travelers, and Turtle School. Goku, in terms of build, I would say probably additional, and you can consider evasion, I guess, because he doesn't really have to be hit to be tanky. So I would say predominantly additional, but if you want to give him a little bit of evasion, just to give him some help against certain super attacks and that, I think it's more than fine. Now, how Goku works functionally is not bad. I honestly think Goku is not bad. A bit plundered by not having high stats. I think that's a huge issue for him. But Goku at 100% traditionally looks pretty solid. You can get up close to like the 500k defense mark once fully built up and once his 4-turn defense is expired. This doesn't sound like a lot, but 500k defense when you apply guard and 40% damage reduction to it is pretty good. To put it in perspective, if a unit hits a 3 million super attack and Goku has guard active, that then takes that away to 1.5 million. And then if you take away from that his defense, and then you take away obviously the damage reduction, Goku's looking at like a solid 580k or so on a 3 million super, which again doesn't sound great, but remember that's before he fires his super attack, which raises his attack and defense. So Goku post super is definitely very tanky. Goku pre super is tanky enough. Obviously there'll be situations where you can take a lot of damage. The big issue actually is that on a traditional team, like under a 200% lead or with LRs, traditionally that team, and the big thing is the LRs as well, but traditionally that team has like 800k defense. Heroes has like 530k defense, and this ultimately is actually its big problem. The big thing with Goku, beyond anything, is that you need to have those crossover units and you need to have those Xeno units so that you can get his orb changing. Goku without his orbs is an absolute train wreck. Like an absolute train wreck of a unit. honestly speaking, without the guard, he can just take damage. Like, I mean, it's not, it's not like he can really withstand much without the guard, because the guard carries his damage reduction. So you have to have, like, him not activating his guard, and then him not having his damage reduction changes defense from very acceptable to borderline unacceptable. And that means that the orbs are the big factor, and especially getting 5 orbs. It's fairly consistent. I will say in testing them out, there were definitely moments where I failed to get that because of how the orbs spawned, and that felt really bad. Overall though, I will say that it wasn't that hard to do. And I think a lot of the time, it's more than fine. I think they should have ultimately just removed the Great Chance and given him guard on 3 key orbs. I think that would have been fantastic. Then with 5 key orbs, they could have given him a slight defensive boost, maybe 20% or 30%, and then left the 7 key orbs the same. I think that alone would have probably made him the perfect unit for heroes. And I think it's that close. It's that close to how good he is. Because, I personally, I think he actually works really well. I genuinely think he works really well. I know, obviously, people are anticipating a power spike for the 10th Annie. I understand that. But I think, Goku works functionally really nicely. He does good damage, 17, 18, 20 million super attacks. He has a good link set, a very good link set. He has a nice lead. His kit is pretty well designed. He's just missing little things that would have changed him from probably what I would say is an 8 out of 10 unit for heroes to being a 10 out of 10 unit. And I think for it being the last hero celebration, they needed him to be a 10 out of 10. Just those small multipliers to defense that you could have applied, and just that guaranteeing of guarding, I think ultimately for me at least would have made him perfect. Because what superheroes needs the most is a first slot tank, and with Goku not being a first slot tank perfectly, I think that's a huge hindrance. They've got great second slot units. They've got SS4 Vegeta, they've got AGL Vegeta, they've got Trunks, Tech Trunks, amazing second slot unit. They've got great supports. They've got physical Goku, Int Vegeta, Int Pan, all fantastic floating supports. They really do have a good team there. It's just that if you can run double Gokus, and if both Gokus were really good tanks, then I think, wow, that team would be perfect. As it is now, Goku is a semi-perfect tank, and with dupes, he can be amazing.